Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am continuing this multi-part series on Apollo 11. I think that it's the most influential program we've ever had in the United States, and we got so many technological advancements from this program. And it was really impressive what they were able to do in a time like that. And we'll get into that further once we get into things like the computer programs of the day, so on and so forth. So I think this is going to be a fun one. I'm really excited about it, and I can't wait to get started. With me tonight, I have the lovely Brian S. What's up, Bri?
Hey, how's it going? How's it going, everyone? Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about this, so I'll do my best to ask as good of questions as I can.
Yeah. Well, it was part of the grander plan because I appreciate you and enjoy you, and I wanted to move science to Saturday. I'm just lazy and never actually did it, so now it's done. It's done, and there's no going back. So,
Hell yeah.
um, so Apollo 11 was, like I said, very influential in the science world, very influential in uh, beating the Russians, and we'll get into geopolitics of it. We'll get into computing and command systems of it. Tonight, though, we have a very special treat. We are going to relive the EVA, or extravehicular activity, which means two astronauts leaving the comfort of their space vehicle to step on the moon. So it's an impressive feat. It really is. It's not something that's easy. And so we're going to do the Apollo 11 moonwalk in full right now. So let's say hello to everybody, and we'll get right into it. So we have the lovely Doug Mama. Jason, what's up, buddy? Linda, hello, hello. I did need my diversity higher, so we got it. We got it. So, yeah, essentially that's what's going on. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No, I think we can jump right in.
Okay. Last time we watched the and we're kind of going out of order. We watched the launch. We watched the Kennedy speech last week. It would have made sense to go EDL this week. What's up, Froggy? Yes. So when they came back, they had to. I assume you're talking about when they came back to Earth. Yeah, they had to learn to walk again because of the difference in gravity and how it affected the human systems. So being that far away. So
And this was before we really had a good idea on like the effect it would have on people, like the the degeneration of the muscles and stuff like that.
right. So this was, I believe it's 2 years after after Gagarin went to space. So it might have been a little bit longer than that. But we had only sent up a handful of people, and they had never left Earth orbit. So you're talking about going hundreds of thousands of miles away from our home planet to it's an eighth the gravity, correct? I always forget because I'm more interested in Mars than the moon, but I think the moon is an eighth of the gravity.
We're at 9.8 on Earth. I think gravity is about what 2.3 meters per second.
I thought it was 1.7, but I could be wrong. Hey, Miss K. Griff. Hey, Shenny. Digger.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is.
Hey, Mandy.
1.6.
Oh, I was off. Oh, sue me. Don't sue me.
less off than I was.
So, yeah. So that's kind of where we're at, and so the precursor to this is restored. So this is digitally remastered. Because the footage obviously came in potato quality, but on July 20th, 1969, 4 men from planet Earth first set foot on the moon. This is a restored version of the television broadcast as it was received and distributed to the people of the world. The first 3 minutes contained better images that were only seen in Australia and New Zealand. The left audio track has NASA public affairs commentary and communications between Mission Control in Houston and the astronauts on the moon. The right audio track was the Houston flight director's loop. So that's all pretty cool too. This was a big event. If anybody was, I don't know, 69. That would have been. I don't know, and I'd be curious to hear if anybody happened to be alive or take part in watching this. That's in the audience, because this was huge. This was not just run of the mill. Like there were parties where people got together and really took advantage of this. So this was impressive. I mean, people would get together, the whole block would get together and watch it on a singular television, because this was instrumental in human spaceflight. So but yeah, we'll get right into it here.
Nice and straight in here. Okay, can you pull the door open a little more? Right? Yeah. Okay. Did you get the main sound? I'm going to pull it now.
So they've obviously landed on the moon. They're talking about egressing from the vehicle, which causes all kinds of concerns.
All right.
Obviously,
Houston, Roger, we copy, and we're standing by for your TV.
so you're obviously exposing your payload and your internals to the vacuum of space. They didn't know what the hell that meant at that time. Like, it was really an uncertain time.
Houston, this Neil
So
radio
would they
check.
have to try to equalize
Neil, this is
pressure
Houston,
beforehand?
Loud and clear. Break, break. Buzz, this is Houston.
In the
Radio check and
spacesuits,
verify
so they would be
TV
fully
circuit
suited,
breaker.
obviously, for life support systems, but they would not equalize pressure
Roger, TV
inside the
circuit
LEM.
breaker's in.
So the lunar excursion model is the
Not
LEM.
clear.
Right.
Roger. And we're getting a picture on the TV.
That's so cool.
Okay. You got a good picture, huh? There's a great deal of contrast in it, and currently it's upside down on our monitor, but we can make out a fair amount of detail.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that's Armstrong coming down the ladder. You'll hear the famous words here coming up.
Verify the position, the opening I ought to have on the camera. Stand by.
So this would be a semi-autonomous camera that was on the surface recording the first steps.
Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now. Neil, we can see you coming.
Wow, Hollywood did a really good job.
I just
Holy moly.
checked,
Damn it, stop it,
get
Brett.
back up to that first step.
Sorry.
That isn't collapsed too far, but it's adequate to get back up.
How did the camera get there? The camera is on the side of the LEM, so it's a partially autonomous camera on the side of the lunar excursion module. It was used for EDL purposes, and then they repurposed it for the astronauts.
Buzz, this is Houston.
So it's kind of like how we have cameras on like the SpaceX launches so we can see what's going on type of thing.
Yep. Same idea.
Okay. At the foot of the ladder, the LEM footbeds are only depressed in the surface about 1 or 2 inches, although the surface appears to be very, very fine-grained as you get close to it. It's almost like a powder.
Linda was alive.
I would have loved to have seen that. I would love to talk to you about it, because that's incredible. I would have loved to have been alive to watch that.
You know what? I think my parents were alive.
I'm going to step off the ladder
Really?
now.
Yeah, because I mean, they're almost 70.
6931.
That's
So you
one
would-
small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
So there's the iconic line. Sorry, I heard it coming, so I wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're talking about 31 plus 23, 54? Anybody over 54?
That's the surface is fine and powdery. I can
We don't want them to
pick it up
annihilate
loosely with
us.
my toe. It does adhere in fine layers, like powdered charcoal, to the sole and sides of my boot.
And this is the first time that anybody's ever stepped on a body off the earth.
Small fraction of an inch, maybe an eighth of an inch, but I can see the footprints of my boots and the treads in the fine sandy particles.
And again, this is very important.
Houston, we're copying.
They're test pilots, but they're also scientists. They're also people that are very interested in the medium of space. So they're going to be incredibly detailed in everything that they do because they understand the gravity of the mission that they're on.
There seems to be no difficulty in moving around as we suspected. It's even perhaps easier than the simulations of 1/6G that we performed in various
1/6. Okay.
simulations on the ground.
Is what they simulated
Absolutely no
for.
trouble to walk around.
What's up, Jacob Castro?
Okay, the descent engine did not leave a crater of any size. It has about 1 foot clearance on the ground. We're essentially on a very level place here. I can see some evidence of rays emanating from the descent engine, but very insignificant amount.
And that was a large part of consternation with we didn't go to the moon community because there wasn't a large crater left behind.
Okay, Buzz, we ready to...
Well, whatever they knock up is going to settle back down. It's not like
already. I think it's
right
here where it's going to start flying.
good shape.
Right, because you don't have air currents or anything like that. It's just going to be...
Pay out all the LEC, and it looks like it's
You'll
coming
kick
out
it up,
nice
it'll
and even.
drift back down slowly but surely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's quite dark here in the shadow and a little hard for me to see that I have good footing. I'll work my way over into the sunlight here without looking directly into the sun.
No,
Okay,
it is
stop
not
now.
made of cheese. Cheese has never been to the moon. Oh, you may not know cheese. You don't hang out in Discord. I'm sorry. But it's not made of our cheese.
Unofficial time on the first step, 1092420.
1092420. I believe they're using UTC.
Yeah, I think you're pulling the wrong one. I'm ready to pull it down now. There was still a little bit left in the... Okay, don't hold it quite so tight. Okay? Okay. Looking up at the lamb, I'm standing directly in the shadow now, looking up at Buzz in the windows. And I can see everything quite clearly. The light is sufficiently bright, backlighted into the front of the lamb, that everything is very clearly visible.
So just the incredibleness of this moment, just the fact that you're experiencing something that humanity's never experienced. Like we had no idea going into this first few steps on the moon what the hell to expect. Like we'd never walked in gravity like this. Obviously we simulated as best we can, but you don't know how it's going to impact or not to mention you're way far from home, stranded by a piece of 1970s NASA tech. Brought to you by the lowest bidder.
Yeah, one wrong move could strand you.
Mm-hmm. And you would die. You would run out of life support. There was very tight tolerances on the life support. So one minor error or miscalculation and you were deceased.
Or
If
they could
they'd get eaten. Right. We didn't know what was on there. I mean, who knows?
Giant Alaskan bullworms or something bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Well, the interesting part is they didn't know what was parasitic or what was, microscopic that could have possibly been there. They made the astronauts quarantined for
Surgeon says that
Camera installed on the ICU bracket.
a great deal of time after they returned. So
surgeon says the crew is doing well. Data is good. Crew is doing well.
And I'm still in the LEC on the secondary stud.
Craters. Anything.
Just the amazingness of the moment. So they actually have a flight surgeon that's sitting back at Houston, Flight Center Houston. And he is receiving every bit of
some of my first pictures here.
data that they possibly could have for him. All kinds of data on respirations, hearts,
Roger, Neil. We're
whatever.
reading you loud and clear. Let's see, getting some pictures and the contingency sample.
Whatever we had at the time. I like that better.
I like it too.
So we had no idea. We had no idea if you were just going to fall over dead.
Minutes of PLSS time expended now.
I mean, how did they even know that the spacesuits that they had were going to be enough to block out the solar rays enough?
Right. Or the radiation that could have been present, or
See, I kind of wonder how they kept the suit from popping, right? Because there's no pressure around them, but they kept pressurized the inside of the suit. So it should expand like a balloon.
And it did. And there was a little bit of I know that one of the complaints was there's a lot of blood gases in them from the nitrogen
Neil,
expansion.
Houston,
Mhm.
copy about the contingency sample.
And that's when they actually switched it.
You're going to get
Switched
to
the
that
mixture
just as soon as I
slightly.
finish,
But yeah, I
these
mean,
series.
they were incredibly thick, incredibly tough suits. I know that much, but I'd imagine there'd have to be some reasonable equalization of pressure, so they're probably releasing some outgases, especially with, I mean, so if they're just breathing in pure oxygen or oxygen with nitrogen, I think it was 7129, but if they're breathing in that, then there's going to be carbon dioxide that's coming out as an off gas, so that theoretically would be released. So,
Well, unless they go and scrub it using the pack on their back or something, where then
I
they
don't
try
know
to
that
keep
they
it
had-
as constant as possible.
I don't know if they had carbon scrubber technology on the Apollo missions. They may have, but I don't know that for a fact.
Okay, that's good.
Obviously, they banned needles. Yeah, probably. Methane, they probably vent farts and stuff. Bile, stuff like that probably gets put somewhere else.
Right. Space Center Houston, so pretty good source.
God, I wish I could pull up comments because Scott Patrick has a good point.
Oh.
Okay, the contingency sample is down and it's up sample.
So they actually had for stabilization. I agree.
Very interesting. It's a very soft surface, but here and there where I go with the
That's awesome.
contingency sample, after I run into very hard.
So lithium hydroxide was their carbon scrubber and for pressurization of the spacesuit.
Very cohesive material of the same sort.
So they had a very primitive carbon scrubber with lithium hydroxide.
Jeez. Okay.
So they pulled out the water. There was a lens that went into the suit, and then everything else went to a lithium hydroxide spreader, and then
It has a stark beauty all its own. It's like much of the high desert of the United States. It's different, but it's very pretty out here.
the image is pretty poor. So
A lot of the rock samples out here, the hard rock samples, have what appear to be vesicles in the surface.
and then they exhausted
Also,
it
I'm
back
looking
out.
at one now that appears to have some sort of phenocryst.
So that was their
Houston, roger out.
Interesting.
suit exhaust, and then that had
Okay, the
lithium
handle is off
hydroxide
the,
cartridges that were replaceable. So
push it in about 6 to 8 inches into the surface. Like it's pretty easy to. It is. It's. I'm sure I could push it in farther, but it's hard for me to bend down farther than that. Yeah, now you could throw so far. You can really throw things a long way up here.
So
So
how
they
does lithium hydroxide remove carbon? Do you know, or
So what I found was a slight graphic of they basically saturate a bed. Oh, thanks, Mandy. A bed of probably some kind of
not up against your suit though. Hit it back once more.
silica or something along those
Or
lines.
point
I'm not
towards
really
the
sure what the bed would be made out of.
Okay,
But
good.
they saturate that with the lithium hydroxide solution, and the reaction would probably be CO2 busting right apart.
Put in the pocket. Yeah, push down.
Probably popping out some
Finally,
kind of oxygen, maybe doing a substitution reaction, making lithium carboxide or something.
from Space Center Houston. Well, I should be able to use the music. So this is History Up Close, Apollo 13. So this is 2 flights later, but the CO2 scrubber, what it would kind of look like. So very primitive.
You'd probably get a lot of water out.
Yeah.
A whole lot of water.
You're basically drying out and catalyzing the air.
So yeah, in that weird looking fibrous stuff is the bed. I think it's probably some kind of like silica string.
Gotcha.
My guess.
Okay.
Maybe it's some kind of cotton, but I wouldn't use cotton personally.
Right.
The sample is in the pocket. My oxygen is 81%. I have no flags, and I'm in minimum flow.
This is Houston, roger Neil.
I'm actually going to speed it up just a little bit because if not, we're going to be here all fucking night.
Oh, interesting. You use charcoal. A lot of charcoal. Why?
Okay, I got
Charcoal?
the cameras on at one
Okay.
frame a second.
Probably a scent, a smell reducer.
And I've got the 80%, no flags. Good. Are you getting a TV picture now, Houston?
Neil, yes, we are getting a TV picture.
I don't know what that. Oh, that's Neil on the other side.
Did I say lithium carboxide? I was wrong. It's lithium carbonate.
Neil, this is Houston. We're getting a picture. You're not here at the present time. We can see the bag on the LEC being moved by Buzz, though. Here you come into our field of view.
Oh, let me move that over
So
the
cool.
edge for you. Okay, ready for me to come up? Yeah, just stand by a second. I'll move this over the handrail.
Like, they're obviously having fun. It's obviously nerve-wracking, but they know the gravity of what's going on right now.
Okay.
Or the lack thereof.
Are you ready?
Science joke.
All set. Okay, you saw what difficulties I was having. I'll try to watch your bliss from underneath here. All right, the backup camera's okay, your bliss looks like it's clearing okay. The toes are about to come over the sill.
4-bed carbon dioxide scrubber.
Okay, now drop your bliss down. There you go, you're clear. And laterally, you're good. Got an inch clearance on top of your bliss. Okay, you need a little bit of arching of the back to come down. How far are my feet from the Okay, you're right at the edge of the porch. Okay. Back in.
Was
Okay,
it hard
so
to
it
see?
says, yes, it would have been incredibly low light
Porch. Arching of the back.
in certain areas, and then bright in others.
Okay, without any trouble at all.
Unabated bright. So it would have been like staring at the sun nonstop. So yeah, it would have been incredibly difficult to see. So
45 minutes PLSS time expended.
and that's our call outs for life support systems.
Neil, this is Houston.
How much
Based
they
on
have
your
left
camera
and
transfer with the
so on
LEC,
and
do
so
you
forth.
foresee any difficulties in SRC transfer over?
So it was a 4-bed CO2 scrubber.
That's the sample return containers, the rock boxes that Capcom.
I want to back up.
Required NASA engineers to come up with a solution how to fit the square carbon dioxide 2 scrubber to a circular opening using spare parts, including a sock and duct tape.
Oh yeah, I trust that.
So that was on Apollo 13.
Lock it on my way out. Good thought.
Lithium hydroxide is used to bind CO2.
We want to take good care of it.
Breathable air is circulated through the absorbers,
Okay, I'm gonna
reduce
copy
overall
that, and I can
CO2,
look
but
down
this
over
is
the RTU.
typically a single-use device.
Landing gear pad.
The ISS
That's
has
very
a
simple
different
matter to hop down from one step to the next. Yeah, that matter to be very comfortable.
different thing.
And walking is also very comfortable.
System.
You've got 3 more steps and then a long one.
So I had basically gas bearings
Okay, I'm
or
gonna leave that one foot
airfoil
up there and,
bearings that sealed
okay,
it
and
off.
down about the
So as long as there
fourth
was still
There you go. Okay, now I think I'll do the same. A little
it's
more.
pretty much like a
another
diaphragm where
inch.
it sealed itself, and
There you got it. That's a good step. Yep. About a 3-footer. Beautiful view. Isn't that something? Magnificent sight out here. Magnificent desolation.
oh, they didn't say they had clean socks.
God, the dirtier the better, probably.
Both PLSS is
Not
nominal.
talking
on
about your foot
consumable.
fetish, Bri.
Shut up.
Looks like the secondary strut. Have a little thermal effects on it right here, Neil. Yeah, I noticed that. Seems to be the worst, although similar effects are on all around. Very, very, very fine powder, isn't it? Isn't it fine? Right in this area, I don't think there's much of any fine powder. Something.
Got a lot of anything up here.
Whether it's a clod or a rock.
Gross.
Now you can pick it out. Yeah, and it bounces and then.
And you captured the attention of the entire nation. And let's be honest, back in this time frame where information was very, very limited, nobody knew what the hell was going on right now.
Really easy.
Like, nobody knew what was happening or what was being said or any of that. You couldn't go to the internet and look things up. Like, this was all new technology, new information, new
The massive
everything.
backpack, does have some effect in pressure.
Thank you so much for the super chat, Mandy.
Yeah, thank you for the super chat, Mandy. Don't forget to set the clocks back an hour at 12 a.m.
There's a slight
We get
tendency,
extra sleep
I can see
tonight.
now to
I'm
backward.
gonna be waking up at 3 a.m. thinking it's
Due to the
4 and then
soft,
get pissed
very
off.
soft. Thank you.
You're one of
Happens every
those
Hey, you're
time.
landing on a rock, big rock there now.
You're that type of gay.
Patcher didn't. No, it didn't. There's no crater there at all from the engine. No. I wonder if that right under the engine is where probe might hit.
Time is a social construct, and it's terrible.
Yeah, that's.
But
I
stingy,
think
you
that's
would
a
get an
good
extra
reason
hour
to
of
let
work,
it
which
backwards
means
along
extra
the
money.
engine on it. Hold it to probe. I'll see
True.
that probe over on the minus Y strut. Open off and then back up. Have you done it? Other two boats get over.
So, watch this guy just vertical up like
Can't
3
take too much
feet.
visibility right here without the
The only white man that can dunk.
Right, exactly.
pretty dark. It looks like there's a
So I wonder if that's radiation.
surface of
The clicks coming off from it.
It
I
sounds
don't know
like
that for sure, but
it sounds like static from radiation, yeah.
yeah,
and, incidentally,
interfering
the
with
rocks,
either the radios or
very
their
powdery surface,
equipment.
It kind of has that like
Say
pattern
again,
to it.
please, Buzz. You're cutting out.
Yeah,
And here's what I say that the rocks are rather slippery.
Roger.
Very
Well, of course
powdery
it's dusted. What the hell?
surface,
Right.
When it's on there,
Right.
fill up all the very little fine pores. They'll tend to slide over it rather easily.
but again, that's they didn't know that at the time.
Armstrong,
They had no
they're getting
idea.
ready to move the TV camera now out to its panorama position.
Yeah, it's true.
Traction seems like good. Particular area.
That's basically the adapter version for the cabin.
So I wonder how they dealt with the settling of the lithium hydroxide, because that stuff settles out really bad. So like most places will have a agitator in there, but it looks like they don't have.
There was a pseudo agitator from the basically the diaphragm valves inside. So there were motion activated valves from airflow that made it move.
Oh, that's really smart actually. So they don't have to burn
Yep.
energy. That's really, really smart.
Right. Because the other ones used battery and they didn't want to use any of their additional batteries. So they used
And you didn't know if they might see
diaphragms.
some purple rocks?
I forget what they call them,
Purple rocks?
but
Yep.
let me see if I can find how it said. But diaphragms to move it and
Very
open and
small,
close and
monthly,
keep it agitated and keep the airflow moving
fragments are,
using the airflow.
The rocks are like the sun in places. I would make a first guess at some sort of biotite. Leave that to the further analysis.
They were different back then. They were
Compound
very much
underneath
capable of doing shit like this
completely no
all the time.
said you don't sink down more than a quarter of an inch.
Well, they also don't have like, the government coming and saying you're endangering a stupid fish. Sorry, you can't
Mhm.
launch your space shuttle.
Or there might be some dirt out there that
Biotite is
is.
a brown mica substance.
Never mind.
Okay, Houston, I'm going to change lenses on you.
Roger, Neil.
They were both referencing the same bullshit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Life support consumables still looking good.
That might be suitable for what the fuck did they call it? I don't remember. Never mind.
Abstract microbiome environment.
Neil, this is Houston. That's affirmative. We're getting a new picture. You can tell it's a longer focal length lens. And for your information, all LEM systems are go. Over. For your information, all LEM. We appreciate that. Thank you.
They're so nervous to go over 10 feet away from this, like, from this ladder.
Oh yeah, because they want to be able to get back as quick as possible.
Neil is now unveiling the plaque. Roger, we got you four-sided, but back to one side. For those who haven't read the plaque, we'll read the plaque that's on the front landing gear of this LEM. There's two hemispheres, one showing each of the two hemispheres of Earth. Underneath it says, "Here men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon, July 1969 AD. We came in peace for all mankind." It has the crew members' signatures and signature of the President of the United States. Ready for the camera?
Are they tethered? Yeah, they're tethered. You saw Armstrong unwinding his.
Touch the LEC there.
Yeah, absolutely. They're tethered.
I'm afraid these smart materials are going to get dusty.
I sent you a message.
Yeah, surface material, powdery. I don't know how good your lens is, but if you can...
Not today,
Bob.
but potentially within the next 1,000 years.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
I'm not.
Very much like a very finely powdered carbon. But pretty looking. You pull out some of my cable for me, Buzz?
Dog Mama, absolutely nothing. They're just going with the abundance of
How
caution.
close are you able to get things in focus?
Yeah, again, because this is all completely
Buzz's
unknown.
right hand,
We have no idea
is
what the hell's
somewhat
going
out
on
of
right
focus.
now.
I'd say
For all I know,
Literally
gravity could
anything
shut off.
could happen at this
8
point.
inches to a foot behind his position
Right.
of his hand when he's pulling out the cable.
There could be an unintentional spike in electromagnetic energy, and that could pull them away from it. Like, there's so much that could happen. Was it likely to happen? Probably not. But they didn't know that.
They jump a little bit hard, end up going into orbit.
Right. Or, I mean, at some point we thought it was hollow and it could crack. That was going through their mind at that point, you know?
Like sinkholes and shit, didn't know if they had them or not.
Mm-hmm.
Back location. Television camera. And Neil, let's look at the minus line stretch.
True.
The direction of travel there.
I don't blame him one bit. I probably would have been just as cautious.
I got plenty of cable.
Tried to see
Plenty
what?
more.
Oh, the bunny ranch was tried. Oh, that sucks. I didn't know about
I
it.
think I got the end of it. Something interesting in the bottom of this little crater here. Maybe. Keep going. We got a lot more. Okay. Getting a little harder to pull out here.
Oh, the Bundy Ranch, not the Bunny Ranch.
You're staying on the
Oh.
ladder facing forward. The
No, that's in
white
Nevada.
strip is the landing gear to your
Oh
left.
shit! I was just gonna print this off, and it's 276 pages, so I'm good.
Double-sided?
Okay. What the field of view look like.
Yeah.
Backing into the cable. Okay.
I'll keep it digital.
Turn around to your right. You better. I don't want to go into the sun if I can avoid it. That's all right, Jim. Just leave it. All right, better sit like that and walk around it. Houston, how's that field of view going to be? Pick up the mesa. Far away? Good. Neil, this is Houston. The field of view is okay. We'd like you to aim it a little bit more to the right, over. Okay. Okay.
Wow, they have less lag in talking to the people on the damn planet or on the moon than they have like in people in
a little bit too much
was
to
it
the right,
India trying to talk to us
about,
now?
4 or 5 degrees. Okay, that looks good, Neil. Hey, that looks good, Neil. Okay, now, think I would be farther away or closer? Can't get too much further away. Let's try it like that for a while. I'll get a couple panoramas with it, here. Roger, you look okay as far as distance goes, Neil, and we'll line you up again when you finish
Tech
the
works better
panorama.
than Discord.
Line you up again when you finish the panorama. You're going too fast on the panorama sweep. You're going to have to stop for... I haven't stopped. I haven't set it down yet. That's the first picture in the panorama. Right there. Roger.
Sent you a link that might be interesting to you.
Taking just about
It is to me.
northeast. Tell me if you got a picture, Houston. Well, we got a beautiful picture, Neil. Okay, I'm going to move it. Okay, there's another good one. Okay, we got that one.
Yeah, I mean, they try to even
Okay, now this one's right
account for solar
down
wind
south,
and stuff like that,
straight west,
which you
and
would
I
have
wanna
to
know if you
do.
can see
But
an
again, we didn't have
angular
the same
rock,
amount of
in the
information.
foreground. Roger, we have a large angular rock.
I'm still
in the
astounded
foreground
that they
looks like
basically have
a much
like
smaller rock
less
a
than
couple
like
inches to the left of the road.
2,000 ping. Less than 1,000 ping talking to
And
these people on the damn
about
moon.
10 feet is an even larger
Yep.
rock that's very rounded. That rock is about, the closest one to you is about sticking out of the sand about 1 foot. It's about 1.5 feet long and it's about 6 inches thick, but it's standing on edge. Roger. Okay, Neil, I've got the table out. Go back deployed. We got this view, Neil.
What's the differential height terminal phase maneuvers?
Straight south. Roger, and we see the shadow of the limb. In the hills, Roger, the little hills just beyond the shadow of the limb is a pair of elongate craters. Probably the pair together is 40 feet long and 20 feet across, and they're probably 6 feet deep. We'll probably get some more work in there later.
I did. There's also some stuff going on overseas, in places such as Germany. I just had to take a 5-minute break from it. It's driving me crazy.
How's that for a final? For a final orientation, we'd like it to come left about 5 degrees, over. Back to the right about half as much. Okay. Okay, that looks good there, Neil. Yeah, that looks good there, Neil.
I mean, they're just...
Okay.
It's so cool. I mean, it's so cool. They're just being so...
1 hour, 7 minutes time expended.
They're being so deliberate and so cautious with everything. It's just... It's impressive. It really is.
Yeah, I would have already started screwing around.
Okay, you can make a mark, Houston.
Yeah, I mean, I understand.
Roger,
Again, they understood the gravity of the situation. They understood why they were up there. They understood everybody watching. And I can see why they're not. They haven't pulled out the golf clubs yet.
Shadow that the staff
But,
makes to getting it perpendicular.
They will.
Buzz,
These are also
Buzz is
highly
directing the solar
decorated,
wind experiment now.
highly decorated military test pilots, especially these two. So they knew all about
Some of
being
these small depressions
rigid,
off, and you tend to think,
and they were.
maybe 2 or 3
I think they
inches.
were fantastic candidates. I don't think we could have got better candidates
I can
for
suggest
this mission.
exactly
So
what the layer pictures showed when they pushed away a little bit. You can see force transmitted through the upper surface of the soil, and about 5 or 6 inches away, it breaks loose and moves as if it were caked on the surface, when in fact it really isn't. I noticed in the soft spots where we have footprints nearly an inch deep that the soil is very cohesive.
Hey,
And
Ghost
it
Tree.
will retain a
what's up, Ghost?
slope.
They
of
understood they
probably
might not get
70
back up
degrees.
or get back
On the side
home.
of the-
Yeah, absolutely. And they willingly signed up for that, and that takes an incredible person, if you ask me. Nothing but respect for these guys, because there was a good chance they didn't make it back home. So
I would have definitely lived like that day was my last then.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I would have chucked
again,
at least 1 or 2 rocks at the earth.
But again, this is certainly one of those things where it was a different time and these were different people. This was their service to their country, and they were more than happy to do that. So
All lens systems still looking good.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's nice.
I'm looking for.
Did it come on?
So is this when they were trying to recover, or not recover, but retrieve their experimental equipment off the landing module?
That's what I'm trying to get because there's a mission profile for minute by minute of what they actually did. And I'm trying to find it because I didn't pull it up.
I literally
And-
had it and I fucking went somewhere else stupidly.
I believe that they are currently right now, what they're trying to do is set out samples, because I did catch that one of the samples they were setting out was solar wind sampler. So I think that's what they're attempting to do right now, is pull stuff off the LEM, set it up, and start recording data so they can get as much as they could. So
I'll have to extend that one.
Yo, these guys had bacon.
mm-hmm.
Columbia, this is Houston, AOS, over.
And shrimp cocktails. Hold on.
Yep.
These guys ate well.
Oh yeah.
Neil
All over
Armstrong's been on the lunar
and-
surface now almost 45
Barbecue
minutes.
beef bites. Oh my god.
I know that.
They were eating good in the neighborhood.
They were eating so well.
Okay, so here's prep for EVA. Stove brackets.
Houston, Columbia, again, over.
Columbia, this is Houston, reading you loud and clear, over.
This is Houston, reading.
So I just want to. So this is just. I'm listening there, but this is just the procedures that they had to go through to get out of the LEM. These are all just to get out of the LEM. 86 pages of shit to get out of the LEM. So that was their.
How is the quality
They
of the
broke
data?
things down.
Oh, it's beautiful,
So-
Mike, really is.
Oh, geez, that's great. Is the lighting halfway decent?
Yes, indeed. They've got the flag up now, and you can see the stars and stripes on the lunar surface.
Gravity check, cabin depress, hatch opening, equipment jettison, cabin repress, post EVA configuration. EVA cabin configuration, crew status, donning suits, electrical checkouts, like egressing crew, pressure integrity checks.
See if you can pull that in, off a little bit. Leave that in the front.
How similar is that checklist compared to the checklist that we saw when they were egressing onto the International Space Station?
It's similar. It's truly similar. It's not as there aren't as many steps to it, and most of it is very streamlined at this point, really for spaceflight. Because you got to remember, the ultimate is sending assholes like you and I up there, and we're not going to go through a 200-page checklist to get out of our seat. Like, that's just not going to happen. So that's one of the things is individuals simplifying it, still making it safe, still having these egress and ingress procedures, but making it more streamlined to be able. So,
Right, like I'm
Didn't answer your
barely even
question,
reading
did
this
it?
250-page PDF you sent me, let alone a 200-page egress checklist.
Telemetry. I'm looking at telemetry data.
I'm looking for page 115.
They did some incredible work documenting this shit, though. It is truly incredible. Truly incredible.
Neil, this is Houston. Radio check over.
And there's
All
the
right,
American
Houston,
flag
I'm
coming up.
clear.
Roger out.
I'm clear, Houston.
Roger, Buzz.
They had this
Network
entire thing
Australia
laid out to
archives.
like the pound.
Oh yeah, yeah. They did incredible work. They really documented everything. It's impressive. It truly is.
Even the estimates on how much weight that they had in terms of like liquid oxygen
like to
when it comes
evaluate
to the
the,
third stage.
various stations that a
Yep.
person can traveling on the lunar surface. Leave them out of your field of view. Is that right now, Houston?
That's affirmative, Buzz. You're in our field of view now.
You do have to be. All right, you do have to be rather careful to keep track of where your center of mass is.
No, wait, these guys are liquid cooled?
Sometimes it takes about 2 or 3 paces to make sure that you've got your feet underneath you.
Should be, because you can really get heat off
And about 2 or 3 or maybe 4
because of the cold
phases can
temperatures
bring
of the
you to
area.
fairly smooth
So it makes sense
stop
to radiate the heat off and liquid cool things.
direction.
It'd be effective.
Like a football player, you just have to put out to the side and cut a little bit.
Wow, they could only reach just under 2 feet off the ground.
Yep.
They could not go
Okay,
any lower than
Does
22
work, but
inches.
it seems as though your forward stability is not quite as good
It was
as it is in the more conventional.
it was pretty incredible how little of margin of error they left themselves. Like, they had to be nearly perfect and in everything.
As far as saying what a
It truly is impressive. It really is.
I think the one that I'm using now would get rather tiring after several hundred.
So 130 to
But this may be a
158
function of the
is
suit,
where it is in this
as well
document.
as lack of gravity forces.
Tranquility Base. This is
Oh, but
Houston.
they
Can we
don't
get both of you on
line
the
up.
camera for a minute, please?
it's 130 in the PDF is not 130 in the document. Don't you hate when that shit happens? Okay, so this is what we're doing here. So the spacecraft landed in the southwest part of the Mare Tranquil lattice at latitude 0 degrees, 41 feet, 15 inches north, and 23 degrees, 26 feet
Go ahead, Mr.
east.
President. This is Houston out.
Approximately 20 kilometers southwest of the
Hello,
crater
Neil and Buzz.
D.
I'm talking to you
Part of the
by
Mare
telephone from the Oval Room at
Tranquilitis
the White
is
House.
crossed by
And this
relatively
certainly has
faint
to be the most historic telephone
north by
call
northwest
ever
Green
made.
Ways.
I just can't tell you how
25
proud
kilometers
we all are of what
southeast of Surveyor
for every
5.
American, this has to be the proudest day of our lives. And for people all over the world, I am sure they too join with America in recognizing what an immense feat this is. Because of what you have done, the heavens have become a part of man's world. And as you talk to us from the Sea of Tranquility, it inspires us to redouble our efforts to bring peace and tranquility to Earth. For one priceless moment in the whole history of man, all the people on this earth are truly one. One in their pride in what you have done, and one in our prayers that you will return safely to Earth.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a great honor and privilege for us to be here representing not only the United States, but men of peace of all nations, and with interest and a curiosity, and with a vision for the future.
Okay, that was
honor for us to
Richard
be able to
Nixon.
participate here today.
President Nixon.
And thank you very much. And I look forward, all of us look forward to seeing you on the Hornet on Thursday.
I am not a crook.
Look forward to that very much, sir.
Second favorite character in whatever the TV
Columbia,
show's called.
Columbia, this is Houston, over.
Futurama.
Futurama? Yeah.
Right, clear, Houston.
Great.
Roger, I
You're
got
great.
a T-22 auto optics,
Great.
auto optics pad for you.
So basically what we're doing on this specific walk is we're locating rocks to bring home. We'll simplify
Roger,
it.
T-22, landmark ID, LEM, T1, 1102656.
Shut up, astronauts.
T2, 1103206. 3 miles south. Time of closest approach, 1103340. Shaft, 353.855. Trunnion, 46.495. Roll 0. Pitch 250. Yaw 0. Over.
So one of the things that they did is a lot of observations. So they took a lot of photographs,
Roger out.
telemetry data, crew observations, examination, actual physical handling of rock
Houston, it's very interesting
and
to note that when I kick
surface
my foot
material samples.
with,
They did all kinds of measurements about the LEM penetration.
They seem to leave, and most of them have about the same angle of departure and velocity.
Basically coloration and
portion of them will impact at a certain distance out.
and thoughts behind what was around it. So they took a lot of catalogs, a lot of visual cues, the stuff that they couldn't necessarily take home. So
initial trajectory upwards determines where most of the majority of the particles come down, like the terrain.
okay, so a total of 22 kilos of lunar material returned by 11.
Roger, Buzz, and break, Columbia. This is Houston. When you track out of high gain antenna limits, request Omni Delta. Omni Delta, over.
11 kilograms were rock fragments of more than 1 centimeter in diameter, and 11 kilos were particulate material.
In the shadow, that just as I go in, I catch an additional reflection off the LEM. That, along with the reflection off my face onto the visor, makes visibility very poor just at the transition sunlight into the shadow. I essentially have so much glare coming onto my visor, I'm under shadow. So helmet actually gets shadow, and then it takes a short while for my eyes to adapt to the lighting conditions.
inside the shadow area. Yeah, visibility, as we said before, is not too great, but both visors up. We can certainly get what sort of footprint we have.
One thing that they didn't note was micrometeoroids
And after being out in the
pelting
sunlight,
like
it
constantly.
takes
Yep, a lot of impacts.
okay. Yeah, link up your right foot.
I mean, they're tiny. It's not, like they would be burned up immediately upon like hitting Earth's atmosphere.
Right.
Okay, you're clear now.
But a lot of them struck the moon. So type A, so they found four types, different classifications of returned lunar material.
Neil Armstrong has the scoop for the bulk sample collection.
Okay. So a fine-grained crystalline igneous rock containing vesicles or cavities. Type B was a medium-grained vuggy, small cavity crystalline igneous rock. Type C was a breccia, a rock consisting of sharp fragments embedded in a fine-grained matrix made of small fragments of gray rock fine material.
The boot color of my boots have completely disappeared now into this small. I don't know exactly what color to describe this other than grayish cocoa color.
And
seems to be covering most of the wider part of the boot.
And type D, fines, mixtures of very small particles of various sizes. So, and there was a serious concern. You hear him talking about the boot.
You're cutting out on the end of your transmission. Can you speak a little more closely into your microphone over?
There was a lot of material that stuck to their suits, and they were very concerned because it was very fibrous, very small, with it getting in their breathing systems. Because I mean, it's a good way to get cancer, letting stuff come in through your breathing system that's fine and crystalline. So,
Neil's been on the surface an hour now.
So they did seismic background noise. So they checked for moonquakes on this mission. Near seismic events. So they seismometers, monitoring materials, that kind of thing.
Time spent in the shadow doesn't seem to have any thermal effects. We still inside the suit. There is a difference, of course, in the coming radiation in the helmet. So I think there's a tendency to feel a little cooler in the shadow than we put out in the sun.
So they were doing lunar surface temperatures at noon. The lunar surface got to about 650 degrees Fahrenheit. Wait, never mind. This is a weird...
It was like 200 something Fahrenheit and then down to 200 something Fahrenheit.
350. Sorry, this graph's funny to read.
On the PLSSs now.
More like
you're right,
asbestos
200.
AP.
200 surface. Okay, so they lined it and barred it. This is a weird so most of the time it was around that negative 200 to negative 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and then it got up to about 240 degrees Fahrenheit at a high temperature. So during the seismic testing, they also did temperature evaluation, temperature testing. The equipment packages operated for 319 hours and 18 minutes before it ran out of power.
This is Houston, over.
99.8% of seismic data is preserved on tape still to this day.
VHF LOS will be at 40 minutes, 15 seconds. Over.
Misalignment and indicated off level. So they measured it. So the laser retroreflector. So they measured the basically how big the moon was. Like we said, some solar wind composition experiments and how much. There was a ton of photography.
Averaging between 90 and 100. Flight surgeon reports they're right on the predicted number of the BTU units expended in energy of work.
So there were 9 70 millimeter and 13 16 millimeter film magazines. 90%
comes out
were accomplished of the
by virtue
photo
of the
objectives.
shadows, almost feet. Down sun.
So they had long distance coverage, lunar
light
mapping,
colored
photography of the lunar
light gray
module,
colored,
sequence
the halo,
photography during
um,
EDL,
around my own
still
shadow,
photographs
around
through the
shadow of
lunar
my helmet.
module, still photographs on the lunar
Then as
surface,
I look
and
hot,
close-up
close sun,
stereoscopic
the contrast
photography
becomes
for
strongest.
probably
And the
samples on there.
surrounding color is still fairly light as you look down into the sun.
And these are film photographs.
A larger
It's
amount
so incredibly difficult to do that.
shadowed
So.
areas looking toward us. The general color of the surrounding is darker than broad sun. Contrast is not as great. Surveying that's the area that we picked up.
And the last section of research was biomedical. They wanted to research the actual astronauts and what they were doing. So that was the third level of research. So those are the scientific objectives of this walk.
Surveyor. The same is true as I survey cross sun along the area that we're walking. General, it's to the fact that there are footprints there. General terrain where I've been up out of this surface material is generally of a darker contrast, having color.
So what's the cycle for the moon? Is it 4-hour cycles between day and night?
You can see Neil Armstrong bringing scoop.
I'll be taking about 30 to 40 feet out
Nope.
of the bus. But again, which strut, Buzz? So it seems the plus V strut. Roger. Right in this area, there are
2.2
craters.
Earth days is
The one that's right in front of me now, as I
day-night
look off
cycle.
about the 11 o'clock position from the spacecraft, about 30 to 35 feet across. And several rocks and boulders, 6, 8 inches across, different sizes.
Neil is filling a bulk sample bag attached to a scale. You can see him in the picture. Buzz is behind the lamb at the minus Z strut.
They were on the moon for 22 hours, which was kind of their goal. And within those 22 hours, they had 8.5-ish hours of rest.
Directly opposite the ladder.
But they were constantly trying to set stuff up, eat, rest, eat some more, stuff like that. But yeah, they had a press document that Meat had sent me. But they're
Yeah.
just under 22 hours.
And a lot of it was already predisposed what they were going to be doing during that time. So they didn't have any autonomy to really do what they wanted. It was all very rigid what was going to happen during
He
that
has been on
time.
the surface about an hour and 10 minutes now.
Right. And their rest periods only being 4 hours. Like they weren't ever getting like a full 8 hours of sleep or anything like that. They were just taking essentially naps. Because they'd lose probably good windows for certain stuff if they did.
Also, you got to take in their life support systems and how those had to be monitored
Recharged.
and
Yeah.
recharged and all that kind of stuff. So
It looked like they had about a 2-hour max of being able to be out and about. And then they had to change everything over because their first walk was 2 hours. Their second walk was 2 hours-ish. their third walk was a bit longer. It looked like
Buzz
though.
is making his way around the lamp.
Yeah, it looked like they tried to
photographing it
extend
from
it.
various angles, looking at its condition on all sides.
Though they did change consumables halfway through that second, so it looks like they're actually about like 2 hours, and they're starting to push it.
Mm-hmm.
Neil's still occupied with the bulk sample.
Page 43 is my favorite page so far.
1 hour, 40 minutes time expended on the PLSSs now.
How's the bulk sample coming, Neil? Bulk sample is 15 field.
I blew way by 43. Damn it. The module descent page?
No. Maybe.
Oh, 43 document, not 43 PDF.
Yes.
So touch on land 204, eat 35 minutes. First rest period was 4 hours. Eat for an hour. EVA prep 2 hours.
Columbia, this is Houston. Go ahead, over.
Couple different times for the EVA. Post EVA CO, so completing paperwork essentially. An hour 30. Eat 40 minutes. 4 hours and 40
Go ahead
minutes.
with the
Second
coordinates
rest
on the
period
small
in
white object.
228. Prep and eat.
Well, CO is call outs, but what is EVA? Oh, there we go. Never mind.
Vehicular activity.
Roger, copy. Echo 3 and 7.6.
Basically, anytime you do a spacewalk is an EVA.
Yeah, and I don't know what CDR stands for because it's not cooldown reduction, but I only found it in one place.
And Columbia, this is Houston. While I'm talking to you, LOS will be at 111 19er 31. AOS 112 0543. Over.
Hang on, I'm looking at the Apollo abbreviation handbook. Commander. That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't sure.
CDR is
Columbia,
commander.
this is Houston. Did you copy LOS? AOS times. Over.
Here's the glossary for terms in the documents.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Roger, out.
I don't know. I would take it in. I don't know what. There isn't anything specific that I would do. I just enjoy the hell out of it.
Oh, I know exactly what I would do.
What's that?
I would try to build a chair out of moon sand.
My brother's got a dream.
DOS deflector that's mounted on quad 1 seems to
That's my favorite thing to do when I go to the beach. Build a sand chair.
right now on quad 4.
Sometimes inside of a pit,
You're
sometimes
breaking up
not
again,
inside of a
Buzz.
pit.
I say the jet deflector that's mounted on quad 4 seems to be, the surface of it seems to be more wrinkled than the one that's on quad 1.
You can hear the tapping of the freaking tiny rocks
The part of the lamp seems to have set up
peppering the
quite well
landscape.
we'll get some pictures in the half part of the lamp that illuminate the thermal effects much better than we could get them up here in the front. Roger up. I want to get some particular photographs of the bulk sample area, Neil.
Okay.
Nope, CDR is commander, Ghostery.
Yep.
But basically, they would have the commander be alone for 25 minutes doing stuff on the moon, and then both people would come back out after that.
3.78 FI. 3%. No flag. Adequate. Light warming fingers.
So, and that's what they did. They front loaded that first 25 minutes with just Armstrong, and then
Roger, and Neil has
went from there.
66% O2, no flags, minimum cooling, and the suit pressure is 382.
Houston, roger.
This is the entire time that 11 was on the surface of the moon, this specific video. So,
Neil has finished collecting and packing the bulk sample.
Buzz, this is Houston. Have you removed the close-up camera from the mesa you had over?
Negative, thank you.
damn, I love the nominal EVA timeline on 44.
Page 44.
Yeah, just the next one down from the
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%.
for the pilot and commander.
Yeah, why don't you pull it up so people can see how actually regimented all of these different tests were.
So this is their activity schedule, down to the minute. Here's their nominal timeline. So this is what, if everything went perfect, this is what they wanted to see, and it was pretty damn close. And then once we get further into it, there's diagrams. This is 256 pages, and I have a ton of these up. So this is different things. This is all about the descent EDL. There was detailed versions of the drawings for the different systems and stuff like that. I mean, this was just amazingly detailed, and there are hundreds of these. This is just the sample returns, like the kind of shit that they were doing experiment wise. Like, it is so well documented. It's incredible.
If anybody is interested, I have in Mighty Meat's live stream chat, Discord, on the Discord, I have put all the links that he has sent me, which are all phenomenal. One of them is literally just acronyms, though, because they really like acronyms.
Yeah, it's the government.
And half of them don't make any damn sense.
Yep, it's the government. So they have a whole book for final flight mission rules for Apollo 11, S506-15. And this is just their rule book, what they couldn't do, general rules and standing operating procedures. But this is 330 pages of the rules that they had to follow to be on the mission. Insane. And they're just pages of rules.
Hey, don't note any abnormalities in the limb.
Here, if you want to be an astronaut,
Quad seem to be in good shape.
follow the rules,
Primary
Bry.
and secondary struts are in good shape. Antennas are all...
Oh, rule number 1, don't be black. Fuck.
Well, you're out of the program.
Problem underneath
Nice
lamb
to have
due
you.
to either engine exhaust or drainage of any kind.
Roger up.
It's very surprising.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, they were
penetration of
typewritered
four
all the
of
way
the
up.
dash. I'd say if we
Like,
were
for
to
example,
try and
so this is even deeper. So that little one that we saw with the thing, so this is even deeper. This is their flight plan to the minute. Each one has 1 minute intervals, and this is everything that needed to happen in that minute. 96 to 97. That
This
was
is
1
literally
minute
him
of
putting
time.
on his stuff.
1 minute at a time, and there's every minute that they were on the fucking moon. It's impressive, the work that they did. It really is.
I think we'll be able to see a little bit better what the
I feel so happy for the guy who had to sit there and just write on this shit for like
seems to be quite
hours.
minimal.
Yeah. Yep. Skylab and Soyuz. It was impressive to see
One picture taken
with all the tensions going on here on Earth, and
right
for
near
them
the
to dock
spacecraft,
and
looking at the skirt of the
mate
defense
there was
stage.
pretty impressive. So
Like darkening of the surface color, a rather minimal amount of radiating or
What's up,
etching
Alex?
away
What's
or
up, Graham?
erosion of the surface. And no,
Yeah, there we go.
decent,
Pause
both of
Soyuz
us
project.
remarked that we could see a large amount of very fine dust particles moving out.
Oh, I read that
It
wrong.
was reported beforehand that we would probably see an outgassing from the surface after
Have a good night, Alex. If you're leaving, buddy.
I recall,
Good to see you.
I was unable to verify that.
No. Yeah, those are those microbursts from flying in. You can hear them pelting everything.
Yeah, and you also have to have a strong enough suit to keep you from getting like a concussion because these things are coming in hot.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them can be the size of baseballs, frankly. Usually not that big though.
I mean, could realistically be up about 30,000 miles per hour. So
I think you're right.
We are not going
Hitting-
to add a 13th month. That is stupid.
no, we don't add a 13th month. Just bang, bang, bang. You can hear it. Just interesting thing. The people that are proving that, quote unquote, proving that we never went to the moon. One of the things that they say is they can't see the flag. One, with refraction from our atmosphere and the limitations of telescopes, you wouldn't see the smallest flag to begin with. Two, the flags are now French flags because of the solar radiation. They have bleached themselves and they are now white. So they're now French flags. They're no longer American flags on the surface of the moon.
It would be the equivalent of trying to point out an individual rock on the moon.
Yep.
We don't have the resolution for that.
Columbia, this is Houston. I noticed that
Well, also we have all our atmosphere that interferes with the refraction of the lens, so you wouldn't be able to make it out anyways because it would be so distorted. That's why we put telescopes in space, and why we have algorithms that fix our images that we take here on Earth, as well as trying to put them on mountains so that we can avoid the most damning part of the atmosphere.
It's all hocus pocus out of focus.
Can you see us underneath the slam over at the SEQ bay? Yes, indeed, Buzz. We can see your feet.
The French have never been to the moon?
Underneath the structure of the
That good. They're that good. No, the Americans are the only people to ever land humans on the moon.
Now we can see you through the structure of the -D secondary strut.
Oh.
Did you not know that, Pearl?
I didn't know that. I legitimately thought we would have had at least landed another like country on there.
The scientific experiments to be left on the surface of
China,
the moon.
Russia, us, India now
Laser,
have all landed
reflector, and
probes on the moon,
And it looks like they're going to stay up
but
without any problem.
the Americans are still the only people to ever touch foot on human
Columbia,
on the
this
moon.
is Houston. We're about to lose
Wait,
you on the
by
Omni.
Russian you mean they
Request high gain
crashed
antenna.
something on the moon,
React
right?
mode. 6
Well, they
0.
had
Yaw,
one successful. The one where they
135,
were
over.
trying to beat
175 flight.
India. They crashed that bitch hard.
Make that yaw 175.
Yeah, I think they
Columbia,
heard it.
yaw 175 on the high gain.
Mm-hmm.
Columbia locked up on the high gain, Houston.
It was louder than that sub collapsing.
How you doing?
It would have been, yeah.
Real fine. They're still working below the predicted curve. EME flight. Go ahead, flight. How you doing? We're going to update you in a minute. I'll get it to you in a second. All right.
Do they have video of the redocking sequence?
Flight econ.
The surgeon says everything looks fine.
Go ahead. Once again,
That's a good question. I actually don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
Next week I was going to do EDL and ADL, which is entry, descent, landing, and
He can't be watching.
ascent
He may not be watching.
and landing. I forget what the other one is
An hour and a
called.
half of lunar surface time.
So basically landing on the moon and then taking back off on the moon. So that's a good question for that, but I haven't looked at the footage recently, so I don't remember. But that's next week. So
I'm looking forward to next week.
that's the fun one.
I'm so curious how they caught this damn thing.
Well, I know how that happened, but I'm not going to spoil it.
Seismometer has been deployed manually.
You're giving me and everyone else here blue balls, dude. In due time, I guess.
Yes, in due time.
They've been on the portable
Okay,
life
so look
support
at page
system for
50.
2 hours now.
All right.
And 54, that's the landing portion. And then 55 is the ascent. Terminal phase ascent.
And the manual deployment
Cool.
of the
I will make sure we'll understand this next week.
little spring that's at the end of the string pulled off of the pit pin. Now, however, I was able to reach up and get hold of the pit pin and pull it loose.
Has the shadow shifted?
So it'll be deployed manually also.
I think it has ever so slightly. They switched cameras, let's not forget. So they went from the lens camera,
that'll do it.
and they put an actual standalone
And the
camera.
panorama is complete. And
Neil and Buzz put a standalone camera,
got the limb 730 position
out.
at about 60 feet.
which they would leave on the moon, I believe.
I think they leave him. I haven't read anything otherwise.
That's
Yeah.
Neil Armstrong to the left of the screen. By that
Doors are closed and locked.
Well, they wanted to leave as much as humanly possible because weight is really important to cut
You got us a good area picked out?
to cut the weight down considerably.
Mandy, the moon is a jail.
It's probably as good as any.
You heard his initial thing that they didn't allow African Americans on the moon, so or in the program. So
Probably stay
no
on the
need
high
for a
ground
jail.
there. And, I think the edge of that crater is that's real soft there, isn't it?
Oh, that's cool.
Got a couple of close-ups on these quite rounded,
Hang on,
large boulders.
I'm gonna grab something real quick and throw up my camera. So
Buzz Aldrin coming into view on the right, carrying the 2 experiments.
About 40 feet out. I'd say out to the end of that next. Well, it's going to be a little difficult to find a good level spot here. Top of that next little ridge there, wouldn't that be a pretty good place?
I want to try to find a weight of those experiments that they're carrying around.
All right. And,
Because I feel like those would be heavy as hell.
I would go right around that crater to the left there. Isn't that a level spot there? I think this right here is just a level. Okay.
and they will be out of the camera's field of view while setting up these experiments.
The boulders look like basalt, and they have probably 2% white minerals in them, white crystals. And the thing that I reported as vesicular before, I don't believe that anymore. I think it's small craters. They look like little impact craters where BB shot has hit the surface.
EMU flight. Baseline, how you doing? Okay, it looks like we recovered a little bit. We've got about 15 minutes, and for the extension, be on the 240. Consumable-wise, how you counting the 240? Where'd you start? The clock up, are you on the clock up front? Roger. That's the one that was started when he first hacked his watch. You first read the cabin, Roger. We just keep slipping the activities back and projecting our profiles. And the current rate right now is around 15 minutes beyond 240. Okay, and you're going with that clock up there. That's fine.
That suit that they wear is 183 pounds, not including the inner.
Houston, I have the seismic experiment flipped over now, and I'm aligning it with the sun. I'm having a little bit of difficulty getting the beast to go in the center. Wants to move around and around on the outside. Find any spot, any hole.
Oh, you're cutting out again, Buzz.
Roger, I say I'm not having too much success in leveling the PSE experiment.
Flight experiments. The main thing is get the ball off the edge. Get what? Get the ball off the edge. It does not necessarily have to be centered if you can't center. Get the ball off the edge. Yeah, he said he was having trouble getting it off the outside at all. I thought he said getting off the center. I missed out again. So it seems to be going around the outside.
So their stuff is really stuck in there right now. So Buzz is having trouble getting stuff off. That's not great, frankly.
The laser reflector
Yeah,
is
fly unit. Is that 15 minutes on water? That's a fun.
installed and the bubbles level.
That's basically the last update we have.
Yeah, the panic.
Dale to Houston, Roger out.
Hey, you want to take a look at this BB, see what you make out of it? I found it pretty hard to get perfectly level too. That BB likes the outside. It won't go inside.
Flight experiments. I think I drowned him out. I think he just said it stays on the outside.
Cup is convex now instead of concave. I think you're right. I believe it is. Houston, I don't think there's any hope for using this leveling device to come up with an accurate level. It looks to me as though the cup here that the BB is in is now convex instead of concave. Over.
Let's have him not to fight it too long at light. Let's forget it.
It's convex instead of concave.
Press on. If you think it's like level by eyeball,
That
go
due
ahead.
to the lack of gravity mixed with the fluid dynamics, capillary motion.
The bubble they're discussing is on a leveling device on the passive seismometer.
Our rates are still down at a comfortable level.
One going, huh?
Okay, Capcom FAO, flight, surgeon and EMU on the loop. Okay, it looks like we can stand about another 15 minutes based on water. Surgeon says they're doing okay.
There you go.
Seems to me we ought to tell them that we're good for an extra 15 minutes and we'll give Buzz and Mark at -10 when to start in. Okay, we agree? That's fine. Flight EMU, go. The number looks a little better than I hear. 15 should I?
Facing the PSE, the right
Surgeon, you
hand
agree?
solar array deployed automatically. The left hand had to manually.
And FAO, I'll be away from that 10-minute mark based on that. Hey, we have 2 of 8 plus 15, 223. And all parts of the solar array. Okay, we're going to take a little more off that because we'll have 2 rounds.
Buzz, this is Houston. Understand you did successfully deploy both solar arrays. Over.
Roger, affirmative.
Capcom flight. Good flight for Neil, based on consumables, and
And any way of telling whether that's lined up.
we can give him another 15 minutes and still give a minus 10-minute mark for Buzz to start termination, if he concurs. Okay, is Neil ahead or behind Buzz on consumables? I think Neil's ahead. Is that right, EMU?
Okay, I'll show it after because I
Neil's
just
last, right?
realized that we're really small.
Neil's
So
the one that's down. Okay, go ahead,
it's not
Capcom.
going to show up unless
Okay,
I.
for my question, would Buzz then be
Flip
going in
everything away.
closer to nominal time?
I don't follow you.
They're talking about the water back
Buzz
in
a
the
10 minute
reading system,
minus 10 mark to start in
like we
based on
talked
that.
about.
All EVA 15 minutes.
Yes, if he agrees.
Oh, and the
Neil, this
scrubber,
is
you
Houston,
mean?
over.
Yeah,
Or
that
the-
kind of system.
Or the water cooling system?
All right, we've been looking at your consumables.
I believe it's the
and
scrubber,
you're
the breathing
you're in good
system.
shape. Subject to your concurrence, we'd like to extend the duration of the EVA 15 minutes from nominal. We will still give Buzz a hack at 10 minutes prior for heading in. Your current elapsed time is 2 plus 12. Over.
That means Buzz would have to start back in at about
Okay, that sounds fine.
Roger out.
flight experiments. While we're out there with the camera, we do have time to get a picture of the bubble. Is he still there? Roger, he's still in the vicinity. I haven't seen him come back from the side of the TV yet. You can try it if he hadn't left it.
We've got the camera, Buzz.
212 is the time expended on the PLSS.
This is Houston. If you're still in the vicinity of the PSE, could you get a photograph of the ball level? Over.
Plus, you got to
I'll
figure
do
these
that,
guys were
Right, we'll get a photograph of that.
they didn't value their own lives, so they would have stayed out there for until they passed out and died.
Stand by. FAO.
True.
Approximately 10 minutes. Pardon? Approximately 10. Approximately 10, Capcom. Capcom.
Oh,
Approximately 10.
Say again, sir.
Approximately 10 minutes.
the ball is right in the middle now. Wonderful. Take a picture before it moves.
You only pass.
He asked what we estimate for the document, and we're estimating about 10 minutes.
Neil, this is Houston. We're estimating about 10 minutes for the document sampling. Over.
Econ flight, did you get your message to Capcom? Yes, flight did. Okay. So you got a message for Columbia? Roger. Battery charge. Flight network, we have good ESEP data. Okay.
Columbia, this is Houston. Over.
Go ahead, Houston, Columbia.
Roger, I'd like you to terminate charging battery Bravo at 111 plus 15. Over.
How about right now?
Roger.
Can't seem to find a weight of the observation equipment that they're using.
It's in there. I just don't know where it's at. There's obviously a lot of information.
Buzz, this is Houston. You've got about 10 minutes left now prior to commencing your EVA termination activities. Over.
Termination activities, over. Roger, I understand.
I'll see if I can't find it.
Flight experiments. Go ahead. Roger, we've uncaged. Working well. Say a lot of short period seismic activity. Short period Z. You want to pass it up? Yeah, you can tell them we're sensors.
This could not have been light.
Tranquility Base, this is Houston. The passive seismic experience has been uncaged, and we're observing short period oscillations in it. Over.
Launch escape was jettisoned. 12,250 pounds is the command module.
About an hour and 15
Okay,
minutes.
so we got to start again now.
So that's the top of the.
We're supposed to give him 10 minutes prior to the bottom of the ladder, right?
Hey, we gave him a 10-minute.
Okay. Yeah, but he can utilize that 10 minutes as long as it's at the bottom of the ladder. Yeah, he understands that, right? Okay, yeah, sure.
Battery charger. Here's a breakdown of. Should be in here, but I'm not seeing it. RCS.
Yeah, because I found more information on what they did.
Right.
Doesn't include weights.
Everything was good for LOS flight. How about you, JC? Everything was good flight with Roger. Telcom, how are you? We're looking good.
In the foreground, Buzz Aldrin is collecting a core tube sample.
I hope you're watching how hard I have to hit this into the ground to the tune of about 5 inches, Houston.
Oh, is he hitting the golf ball?
No, he's taking the core sample.
Damn.
Experiments flight.
RCS, ascent, tracking,
All
docking.
core tubes and the solar winds, what you want? Experiments?
Got it, sample.
Experiments, give me an answer. 2 core tubes in the solar wind? Roger. Okay.
Wait a minute. Okay, cut the cable again.
Neil and Buzz, this is Houston. We'd like to
EPO.
Wherever you're ready. Not clear? Not quite.
Neil, this is Houston. We'd like you all to get 2 core tubes and the solar wind experiment. 2 core tubes and the solar wind. Over.
Roger.
So they have to do another core tube because it just did one, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So they need one more, and then solar wind is basically just a flag.
Yep.
The core tubes provide material.
Experiments, go. We have seen the core samples as he was taking those on the seismic data. If possible, sometime in the next couple minutes before he comes in, if he can get a little jump as he was planning on doing it one time as he left the PSC, we'd like to have it. A jump, Roger. Let's let him get through with what he's trying to do.
It was Alan Shepard who hit the golf balls.
Was it Shepard? Okay. Tuners, vehicle range safety. Trying to see if there's any. Okay.
So they're having more fun on the 14.
Oh yeah, and again, this is the first one, so this is the first time anybody's ever
You
touched
have
it.
approximately
So
3 minutes until you must commence your EVA termination activities. Over.
So you're telling me that we're the only country to ever have somebody walk on the moon, and we've done it a couple of times.
yes,
Columbia, this is Houston.
That's
approximately
ridiculous to
1
me.
minute to LOS. Over.
Every other country needs to step their game up.
Copy, Roger.
And do you plan on commencing
Hold
your
on.
sleep
If
on the
Musk
back
gets
tractor?
us to the moon before any other country does,
We're talking to the LEM, over.
that just proves capitalism's the best.
Well, that was the thought. That was
the wind.
the
We
Cold
can get
War.
anything else into that box within the time.
Houston, were you able to record in a documentary way where the two samples were taken?
2 experiments? Negative.
Tell them what I said, Captain.
Yes, we
Well,
want to.
I didn't get a stereo view of those two, but they're right in the vicinity of the solar wind.
You said anything else I can get in the box? That's right. Neil, this is Houston. After you've got the
Your
core tube
your
and the
answers to
solar
all your
wind,
questions is page
anything else that you can
117 for
throw into the box would be acceptable.
the life support with the spacesuit and portable life systems and all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah, those are like 200 pounds everything. 200 something pounds everything. That's a lot.
well, yeah, it's talking about the oxygen purge, the portable life system, the liquid cooling garment, and the pressure issue.
And you want to pick up some stuff and I'll get these receptacles?
Oh, wow.
Total weight is 183 pounds.
We're fine, Flight. You know we had a little extra lifetime there. Okay, Sergeant Flight, how are you? Fine, Flight, Roger.
And it continues on 119, 120, 21, 22. Oh, there's their menu for food. Peaches, bacon squares, strawberry cubes, grape drink, orange drink. For meal A, day 1. Meal B, beef and potatoes, butterscotch pudding, brownies, and grape punch. Meal C was salmon salad, chicken and rice, sugar cookie cubes,
Buzz,
cocoa, pineapple, grapefruit drink.
EVA closeout activities.
Yeah, I just confirmed what Shenny posted. Yeah, Apollo astronaut Thomas Kenneth Mattingly II, who was known for helping the crew of Apollo 13 safely land after the explosion doomed their lunar mission, had died at 87.
Wow.
And he died on Tuesday. Cause of death was not provided, but I would assume old age because he was born in 1936 in Chicago.
Damn. Well, rest in peace,
Neil gets that too.
Mr. Mattingly.
So he gets a stereo cassette and a film magazine.
And probably one of the most
I like the ZVA,
heroic people on
the
any of the Apollo missions, because that was a disaster. 13 was a disaster, and the fact that they made it back alive was very impressive.
I think the LMP's at the
That
Mesa.
was astounding, yeah.
Remind him of the close-up camera, Max. Neil and Buzz, this is Houston. I'd like to remind you of the close-up camera magazine before you start up the ladder, Buzz.
Is that the duct tape mission?
Yes. Among other things.
Got that over
Yeah.
with you, Neil? Now that close-up camera's underneath the Mesa.
It literally was heralded as like
And I'm picking up
the
several
tape
pieces
that
of,
fixed the
really
spaceship.
particular rock out here now.
Mhm.
You didn't get anything in those environmental samples, did you? Not yet. I don't think we'll have time.
No, they don't have time for that, Captain. Press on with the close-up camera and close up. Yeah, let's get Neil, Buzz started close up.
Neil and Buzz.
And Buzz got on day 4 Canadian bacon and applesauce, sugar-coated cornflakes, peanut cubes, cocoa, orange-flavored drink. That's a good breakfast.
Why are these guys going with all this orange flavored drink? Just give me purple drink every day and I'll be happy. I'm an easy girl to please.
Variety is the spice of life.
Wait, but what about coffee? Any of them get coffee?
No.
Okay, can you quickly stick this in my
I guess they
pocket, Neil,
wouldn't
and I'll
want to
get
give
on up the ladder.
diuretics.
It looks like it was orange grape or grapefruit drink,
He asked
or some kind of variation,
My flight plan
including
shows,
pineapple grapefruit drink.
Tang's gross in my opinion. I'll drink it, but it's not my favorite.
Okay, let's park it, go.
Lap hold.
But it's a kick in the glass.
Adios, amigos. Hey. Anything more before I head on up?
3 minutes. Could we get the ladder? One jump, please. Up the ladder, Capcom.
Negative. Head on up the ladder, Buzz.
Get your ass up in there. I've always wondered how they dispose of the semen.
That white dot right above the
Swallow.
horizon on the right is a phosphorus
Yeah, probably.
spot from
Extra
the TV
protein.
converter in the Park Station in Australia.
No wonder Buzz looked a little stronger after this.
EMU flight. Go ahead.
Okay.
Tang reminds you of church. All right.
Now this would be a really cool Lego set. Would be the
Have it.
Lunar Module.
I have it.
They have one?
All right, let me grab that too. 1 second.
It's $100.
I think you can reach this hook that's hanging over here. You might entertain the idea of sending up the second one that way.
Okay.
Get the film off it up.
Oh, well. Better now.
Okay, I'm heading on in. Okay. And I'll get the LED already. Box.
Telcom, control flight. Go flight, watch your switches and circuit breakers. All right.
All right, where's my? There it is. Camera cord.
Neil's been on the surface a few minutes longer than 2 hours. Buzz, approximately 20 minutes less than that.
Neil, this is Houston. Did the Hasselblad magazine go up on that sample return container also?
I've got the Hasselblad magazine hooked to the SRC now, yeah.
Oh yeah, you do have it. Yo, that thing's so cool.
It says Apollo 11 on the front. I mean, you can see it.
Flight, we're right on now.
Lamb and the.
Say again? We're right on the timeline. We're at Buzz 15.
God, I want that so bad.
It's an expert level set. And try not to break it.
Ecom GNC.
There's United States on the front of it.
Okay, well, Mike's on the backside now. Let's get everything in order.
There's Buzz.
Configuration for sleep on CSM. Roger, flight.
But yeah, it says Apollo 11 lunar lander on the front of it. So. This is another thing I was trying to. So this is from NASA. It's from the 50th anniversary. I got it when I was invited to Wapakoneta, Ohio, for the birthplace of Neil Armstrong. And it actually has part of the lunar module in it. So they melt down the coins, put the lunar module in it. Oh. And it was for the 50th anniversary.
How much
blah,
of
blah,
the
blah.
module is in it?
Not much. NASA certifies that the authenticity of this piece, lunar flown Apollo command module materials were used in the production of this pin, but it doesn't tell you specifically.
Transferring the sample containers into the LIM cabin now.
Uh-oh. Camera came off. I mean, the film pipe came off.
If they're worried about dust and stuff, why would they bring the container inside?
Because they had to have someplace to store it. I didn't hear what container you're talking about.
The sample container.
Oh, because it had to be
Rocks and
boxed. After it was picked up, it had to be boxed and had to be sealed in bags.
Hey, we
It
feel like
didn't,
CDR
counter atmosphere or
heart rate here for a sufficient period of time. We ought to ask him to slow down and rest.
issues from Earth.
You want an EMU check? Yes, sir. Let's get an EMU check on it, Commander.
God, they're all talking
Neil,
over
this is
each other.
Houston. Request an EMU check over.
Mhm.
Roger, got 3.8. And I got 54 on the O2 and no flags. And my flow is in.
Flight experiments to go. Lick observatory did get a return on the laser. Roger. You want to pass that one up, Flight? Negative.
Trying to see.
The Lick Observatory in California reports a return on the laser.
Good, Flight. No response necessary, but we're in good shape on consumables on CDR. Roger, how about Buzz? Same story.
Neil and Buzz, for your information, your consumables remain in good shape. Out.
Is he trying to push it again? Sorry, I missed that too.
They
They're talking about his consumables.
yeah, they're talking about consumables and that they're still good.
Yeah, so he's just trying to push it to stay out there longer. I don't blame him. I would too.
But that film from on the LEC is kind of falling all over me while I'm doing it. Well, that's good, huh? It looks like down here. I think my watch stopped now. Hit it.
Oh, you wanted like docking and shit like that, didn't
Flight
you?
EVA.
Here, you want this.
We haven't heard anything about it. Buzz done anything about this?
So Kitty, what I think what they mean by lasers is laser connection to the planet.
I don't know if he is.
If you can just kind of hold it, but I think I can do the bullet. Okay.
No, they were doing laser telemetry, so they were measuring the size of the moon and the difference in elevation across the surface. So the lasers were to measure the moon surface.
They weren't measuring distance to
Earth.
Okay,
I believe it was on the moon from what I was reading. I could be absolutely wrong on that, but I thought it was. Here, I got it.
Let me reread it again because I might be horribly wrong.
Flight surgeon, say again? Still continue to take it easy. A little more. This is the hardest part. I know.
Folding structure for aiming and aligning with the array towards Earth. The array was built of cubes silica, ranging from beams will Earth will be reflected back to their point of origin for precise management of Earth to moon distances.
Okay. Yep. I'm seeing that. And
page 145.
Yeah, I'm on 154. But yeah, probably a different document. So it was for multiple purposes, but I'm pretty sure you're correct on this one. Back to the Lick Observatory and McDonald Observatory. Reflector experiment, including gravitation, relativity, and Earth and lunar physics. Minor changes in the distances from stations on the Earth to laser beam reflector on the moon.
Okay.
blah blah blah.
Oh, hey. I finally found a weight for the seismometer.
Did they get that mag cap down?
Seismometer.
Seismometer?
Yeah, that one. 100 pounds.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Man was just like basically tossing around 100 pounds in his hand.
Carefully selected, if not documented sample.
Houston, Roger.
100 pounds, but it'd only be 12 and a half.
Yeah.
Shit, that's probably the old math still. It's somewhere in that 12 to 15 pound
Close
range.
enough.
Unofficial
Yeah.
time off the surface at 1:11:37:32.
Start arching your back. That's good. Plenty of room. All right, arch your back a little, your head up again. Out, off, roll right just a little bit. Okay, now. And in good shape. Thank you.
Telcom fly.
I'm bumping now. Now you're clear. You're rubbing up against me a little bit. Okay.
Ooh.
Turn. All right, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Left.
Telcom
Bow,
flight.
chicka, bow,
No flight.
wow.
What's your channel, please? Channel 32.
Some suited up
Now
rebel.
move your foot and I'll get the hatch.
Those had radioisotope heaters? They sent nuclear material to the fucking
Yeah.
moon?
Yes, they did. 238 plutonium.
Right there. That's nuclear. Wow.
That was legitimate nuclear energy. The 238 fuel cells are still operating today.
That's bullshit. That there's nukes on or plutonium on the moon. Brian, you want to go to the moon?
No,
Why not?
because the moon is scary and full of terrors.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah, you're
You're the
right.
first black man on the moon.
Would I be? I think no.
Cabin coming out.
Yes.
Roger.
Yes. Because NASA's making a huge deal about Artemis 2. They're sending of a black woman because she's the first black individual and the first woman on the moon.
Where's Elon Musk? We need to beat him there.
We're talking about 1969. We're talking about white male
One more sighting if it's all right with you.
test
Yeah,
pilot.
three times. That's what it's like. That's what they like to try this one last one.
God, I need to be the first black trans female on the moon. Just to one-up NASA or wherever the fuck they're sending up.
The first black weeb on the moon.
No. I need all the PC points.
Oh, okay.
No, fine. Check your flight plan for
No worries.
It's
It's just incredible to me, so I love watching it.
Yeah, that's how we know the moon is moving away from us. Yeah, because we still have this working.
Cabin pressure is up. Roger. We'll run about an hour later than this.
The nuke lasers.
Flight, get all your data together. We'll try it one more time. Roger, thank you, flight. FAO, will you get the information together? Roger, fine. GNC flight.
Did the second guy
Flight
go
GNC,
up?
we okay on consumables or on the propellant? That's affirmative, flight. Okay.
I don't remember.
Well, goddamn, he did. We'll see if they come back out. I don't remember if they came back down or
I
not.
think this is call out time now, right?
I believe so. I think they're talking about what they did. I believe that one of them gets an interview because this was on national television.
Wow. 40,000.8 bits per second.
There's my stickers.
Ooh, that's sexy. God, these guys
don't-
were calling high speed data transfer 0.04 megabits per second.
Oh, I know. And that was high speed for the time. Wait until we get into the computers and shit that they used. It was impressive.
Forty kilobits per
Systems
second.
look good. Crewmen should now be transferring back to Tranquility Base's environmental control system, and later we'll switch to the vehicle's communication system. We estimate it'll be another 10 to 15 minutes before they're on the LAM communication system.
Wow, think about it. This entire video probably is only, if you keep it in native resolution, like maybe 400 kilobytes.
Oh, yeah. It's nothing.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying, Shenny. I was reading through the press document, and they were like flexing this 40,000 bits per second.
Gotta see some cool shit while we're just listening for call out.
Hell yeah.
I was going to show something. I haven't decided if I want to partially dox myself yet, so.
Oof.
Camera's backwards. So these are postcards from the Apollo 11 flight, the Apollo 11 recovery. The Apollo 11 on the moon. Those are the passive seismic systems. So there's your nuclear material right there.
And there was probably less radiation emitting off of that than there was just from standing on the moon.
I don't really want to take it out, but there's Earthrise from the moon with the LEM.
Oh wow.
Do it that way. So there's a bunch of astronaut autographs. I have like 30 of these guys.
Well, that's awesome.
I can't do that page.
I think they're peeling themselves out of their spacesuits right now.
So that's the anniversary patch. I have the real one, but it's up in my safe, and I didn't want to open the safe and all that shit. So.
Yo, I love that patch. I love the what's that called? The logo, the eagle on the moon.
I have some more stickers. You want me to send you a sticker? And then there's the.
I still haven't used the stickers that you've given me yet because I'm worried to I'm always afraid to use stickers.
Yeah, no, I get you. So that's
and a replica of the American
LEM
flag on the lunar surface is now being erected here in the control center.
Apollo 11.
And a replica of the plaque on Tranquility Base has been hung on the wall.
Neil, this is Houston. Neil, this is Houston. Radio check, over.
Yeah, Josh, I bet she beat them too. Usually off, beat them off.
Buzz, this is Houston. Radio check, over.
Here's a paper.
Who wrote said paper?
Do you want to know who wrote it or what it's about? 'Cause I can't tell you both.
You can't tell me either.
I can tell you one or the other.
The first one.
Who wrote it? I
This is
wrote it.
Houston.
Oh, cool.
I copy a transmission calling Houston. All else was broken up, over.
Shit, there's no good way to show this.
I wouldn't show it. Oh.
Neil, this is Houston. If you read, we suggest you unstow 1+ antenna so we can have communications, over.
So is he coming out with an antenna?
Probably.
Dog Mama, it's the same mentality that gamers have about using any kind of consumable in a video game. It's like, but what if I need it later? So then they just never use it. Final boss rolls around, and you still have everything you ever had still.
Well, we're cutting that out.
A receive. B off.
Damn it.
Neil, this is Houston. We seem to be reading you now. How do you read us, over?
I covered up the top one.
ICS, push to talk. Houston, it's Tranquility. How do you read?
Tranquility Base, this is Houston. Loud and clear. How us?
Loud and clear. We're in the process of switching over to LEMCOM here.
Roger.
All right, we're nuking this stream too. Damn it, Brian. No, I'll get rid of it afterwards.
As in you're gonna cut it out, or you're gonna just
Yeah, I'll
nuke
just
the
cut
entire
the-
stream?
No, I'll just cut the 2 seconds out. So what time are we at right now? So we're on the 2:15 mark. Yeah.
It'll be pretty easy to snip around.
Yeah. It'll be easy to get out of there because I went back to the footage afterwards. So I got myself now too. So you guys can't bitch about, oh, I've doxed everybody else.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking about that. I was like, dang.
So maybe it was done with intention.
Fuck. Shit.
What?
Am I not logged in? No, I am. Ah, it's because a mod did it.
Mod did what?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. But I do think that actually we're most replayed.
Tranquility Base, this is Houston. We'd like to verify your...
Oh, yeah. Did you?
I can't.
Oh, I can. Damn, you hear that again? Hitting the... Bobby, don't do that. All that stuff hitting the tape. Fucking crazy.
Yeah, it sounds like hail, like consistent hail.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is. It's consistently being bombarded.
Does anybody know Morse code?
Because it says most replayed. I think it's just because of the increase of particles. But so yeah, that is the first official moonwalk. First time we sent humans to the moon, and it was pretty damn impressive.
That was really cool. I really liked that.
Not enough to be mission critical, but yeah, it certainly had an impact and something they had to specifically plan for. Well, but yeah, so next week we're going to get into EDL and the ascent process and procedures that went on. So next week we'll watch another video about them docking and landing and all that kind of stuff. But I still think it's one of the coolest things. So it was one of our best achievements as society. But yeah, did you have anything to add, Fine Sarah?
Ooh, I still think that they should have made the moon, the space chair, the space sand chair. But
but yeah, we'll make a space sand chair when we go to the moon together.
cool.
But so that's gonna be it for us. I like the new Science Saturday. I think it's gonna work nicely. And I think we'll have some fun together, Bri.
Hell yeah.
But that's gonna be it for us tonight. You guys have a wonderful evening. Clinton's tomorrow. Back to the trial on Monday. Have you picked a game yet?
Nope.
God damn it. But all right. That is going to be it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all have a great night, and we will catch you soon.